He said they got me. He said over the barrel. He said I can't smoke in the bar, so I'll do both in my car. I'm heading to Colorado.
My name is Brick Briscoe. This is my 7th album.
Wide open the face, and I'm rolling the dirt.
It's called Point to the Horizon. I started, got involved in music in 1975, believe it or not, and I recorded some singles in the 70s and 80s, but I didn't release any product. And since year 2000, I've made 7 LPs.
Somebody we both know saw you crossing over. Saw you going.
You know, the American landscape's what this record's about. Relationships with the American landscape in 2013. I had a vision of driving across Kansas, headed towards Denver, which is one of my favorite places to be, around the Kansas-Colorado border. And I remember several incidents that's happened to me in the 20-odd times I've driven through there. And I started reflecting on my life at age 52. How it was sort of my life has always been lived on the horizon, or headed towards the horizon. And I tried to apply that to a variety of different stories that I had ruminating in my head. I frankly decided that I was done making movies, and it was time to get that movie out of my head. And the only way I could do it in a practical sense was to make a record about these stories, and that's what I did. I think everybody enters a point in a relationship with someone, whether it's with your wife, a girlfriend, boyfriend, yourself, that you start to see them disappear, or they cease to become your expectations. And that song is about me ceasing to become my expectations by getting involved with things necessarily that I don't want to be involved with. And particularly in show business like we're in, whether it's music or making movies or, God forbid, television, you find yourself doing things that you don't want to do. It's funny, as you mature, you find yourself doing those more often, professionally, because you want to keep your legacy going. And that's the same in a relationship. You want to keep that legacy of a relationship. So I kind of put the application of what was going on in my professional life, related it to my personal life. And that's what that song's about. You know, I'm sorry I moved us here. I'm sorry I stole your life. That's a plea to both my wife and my career that I fucked up. Look where we are now. Sacramento is the one song that was written ahead of time. It was sort of the catalyst for the album. It's so upbeat musically that it's a good album starter. You know, it doesn't seem obviously as a downer. You know?
The day the 405 sucks balls and Sacramento.
The way the song ends, it talks about which side of the I-5 is inside. There's the running joke is that anything on the other side of the I-5, nobody gives a shit about. It's basically east of the I-5 until you get to New York. Everything else is flyover. You know, you get this false sense of importance living there, and you sort of shut everything out, and everything else everybody tells you is not pertinent to your life because you live inside the I-5. And you're part of that world where the trends are set, and people, what people say, every word is important, and that's what that song's about.
Which side of the I-5? Which side of the I-5 is inside? Is inside?
Pittsburgh was inspired by very close friends of the Bulls, and I saw how he suffered, and I applied that to how it may affect me. I'm never going to get a divorce, but I saw how bad it was on him, and how bad it affected his kids, and how bad it affected just his day-to-day life, and that's what that song's about. And sort of the realization in that song is, hey, there goes Pittsburgh. I've got to let go of all these great things I've had for the last 30 years of my life and start something new. And that leads into Mass Turnpike T-shirt, where you realize maybe where you are is what matters.
Goodbye, Pittsburgh, and Three Rivers. He's followed his instincts.
One of my favorite lines I've ever written was, it smells like it looked like freedom, but it smells like Boston. And what that says to me is, I've lived in New York, I've lived in Seattle, I've lived in Chicago, I've lived in Los Angeles, looking for the same fucking thing every one of these places, okay? I've looked for the same thing everywhere. And every one of those places, I had everything I needed. Every one of those places. But it wasn't enough. And in this song, I realized it's the only song I've ever written that gives me chills. Not because it's so great, but it's because it reveals something to me that I've known all along that I would not face. I'm home. Doesn't matter where we're sitting. I'm home. And this looks like a good town. Why not? I'm literally looking forward to the live shows. You're going to see me go out and do a lot of solo gigs. A lot of them. But you're also going to see me taking the band out where it's appropriate.
It looked like freedom, but smelled like Boston.
I don't know if it's going to change my life. Do I want my life changed? I'm where I am. It's who I am. It's what I do. And I'm going to continue to do what I do. And that's express myself doing what I do. That's what I'm going to do. I don't know how to put that any better. Am I going to make movies anymore? I couldn't even begin to tell you. I feel like I just made money. It scratches the same itch. And I don't think I could have done it with the same amount of money. I don't think I could have done it with the same amount of freedom. I couldn't have done it with less impact from outside sources. My film's done.